Hi guys, welcome back to this MBA podcast. आज मेरे साथ है SDA Bocconi के students. I've got Sanandita with me and Amber with me. इनकी placement लग चुकी है. They've got big packages by the way. And guys, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell them your score and what all colleges you left for SDA Bocconi. Sanandita, I'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Sanandita. I'm born and bred in Calcutta. I did my undergraduation from NIFT Calcutta in fashion technology and communication. Post which I worked for a year in brand curation, strategy, marketing. Realized that MBA was the next logical step, like most of us do. And took CAT, had a decent score, 95-96 percentile.
That's not a decent one. That's a good score, by the way. You were in top 5%
Yes.
of the country. Yeah.
I had a couple of offers from BBIMs, but choosing SDA Bocconi just made so much more sense because this college is something that I've known about since my undergrad days because of their luxury fashion management program out in Milan. And it was, I had all, if CAT hadn't worked out, I would have definitely, taken a GMAT test and just gone abroad. And when I found out about that Asia Center, it just made so much more sense because then I got to have the Indian market understanding as well as the global market exposure. And hence here I am 2 years in, all the hustle, the bustle, it's all been worth it. And it's been a great journey so far.
Okay. Amber.
So hi everyone, I am Amber. I was born and brought up in Prayagraj, formerly known as Allahabad. I am an engineer by profession. I worked in Ericsson for 2.5 years. And after working in that company, I thought of pursuing an MBA. And probably for me, the CAT wasn't a very great thing, so I focused on the NMAT. And my score was 250.
Not
Choosing
bad.
Bocconi over the other colleges was the reason that, probably for me, the main reason was the Milan semester. Because I always wanted to, study abroad and, see the other countries, understand people, cultures, and how they think. So probably the Milan semester was for me one of the reasons why I chose this college. The other was that the city of Mumbai and it being a financial capital, and I being a person who has a deep interest in finance, like since very very early age. So this was one of the reasons why I chose this.
And which company you got into?
So I have been placed as of now in Deloitte USI.
Okay. Is it a fintech or a financial consulting?
So
What sort of profile?
probably it's going to be a fintech role.
Okay.
Because since I have a tech background, so I'll be putting up in that.
Okay, cool. Sanandita, we'll come back to you. What I would love to understand, a lot of people would hesitate to sort of, leave IM ka brand and then come to, a college called as SDA Bocconi, right? I know the background, but I want you to sort of, make them understand that what was your psyche or your reason to choose SDA Bocconi over and above IM. Bhale wo baby IM tha. I think you had something from new IM's kitty also, right?
Yeah.
It was some Raipur, Kashipur, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
very baby I am.
Okay.
Of course, with the 95, 96, you don't get into Blackie without a 99.
Absolutely.
Right? So it was one of the baby IMs. It just, for me personally, it didn't make sense at all because even the ABCs of the IIMs rank at like a 45, 50 in the global B school rankings. Here, we are in the top 5 globally. So I personally want to build a global name for myself, a global brand for myself. I want to work with companies who are not just limited to India, to this country. As much as I love it, I do want to, explore horizons and, across national boundaries. So having that kind of global brand, because if I go and say I am in a Spain or a London today, they don't really know. But the moment, and this is me talking from personal experience, the moment I say I'm from Boconi, everywhere around Europe, everywhere in the States, my cousins who live in the States, they're like, oh my god, you got it to Boconi. Like, it's a global brand. And more than that, I think I really loved the way I was evaluated at Boconi during my, entrance and my interviews because it was so holistic. I remember they asked me about things that I knew nothing about, like they asked me about one of my shortcomings and they connected it to cricket somehow, and that was the moment I thought that I was done for.
Okay.
But I still got through, and they looked at my co-curriculars, the fact that they gave me a certain scholarship based on my co-curricular activities, the fact that I am a national, nationally, like I've given national exams for Bharatanatyam, fine arts, I'm a state level chess player, all of that came into consideration. So I was not limited to my score in CAT, it was so much more. I had to write essays to get in, like I had to write why I'm a good fit. It was exactly like a job interview, but so much more. And during the process, I felt like I got to know myself better, I got to structure myself better, and
but
that process.
Were you placement oriented? Because you made it to L'Oreal.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest brand globally, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So were you placement focused also, or was it only a global brand and global recognition?
I mean, when you're doing an MBA, I think everybody wants to look at ROI, right? And I made a lot of it up. Like my ROI is great from this college.
200% very hard say if
around somewhere around that. I don't want to say numbers, but yeah, I mean, I'm very well placed, right? And of course, placement is, I mean, you definitely want to get a good placement because you're doing an MBA to get that jump, right? And that's a given. But I remember on open day, our dean at the time, he told us that if we're here just for money, then I'm happy to return all of it to you. Please leave. And because we are going to teach you how to think differently, how to think like companies want you to think. And that was so intriguing to me because I was very excited to be a student again. And I really enjoyed, learning, because all our professors, around 80% of our professors fly down from Italy, Spain, France, all of these places. And they're not just academicians, they also are members in the board of various companies, MNCs. They have their own consulting companies. So they're very much in touch with what the company needs, as opposed to most Indian institutions where they're hardcore academicians at the end of the day. So that corporate exposure was very important.
So in a nutshell, you meant to say that at SDA Bocconi, this question is for both of you. At SDA Bocconi, it's not typical MBA, it's like theory. How it's different?
So probably one of the main advantages that this college has is that the faculty. You have people of world level faculty coming down from Milan, professors who have enormous amounts of work experience in different fields. We have professors who have been working in finance and are also in board of certain companies in Europe. Then we have certain professors who have worked in army and military, and then they have worked into academics and all that. So those kind of background, when they teach you, so the thinking which they impart on you is really mind changing. So for me also, it's one of the reasons was the faculty part.
Okay.
Other than that was, of course, choosing the city over the other thing, over the other colleges.
Okay.
And probably this college has something which others did not have.
Okay. So I think you both spoke about the global exposure.
Yeah,
okay.
that was something.
Right. You guys spent around about 6 months in Milan, right? 4 months in Milan. Now, I'm going to ask you some tough question, okay? Please don't mind, okay? So, I get this a lot from students. Okay, is it really important to do all these things? Is it really important to have a global exposure? Like, how it's going to change my life if I go to, let's say, Milan, stay there for 4 months, okay? And just one add-on यहाँ पे. देखो, जब हम SDA के बारे में बात करते हैं ना, तब हम मिलान के बारे में बात करते हैं, ग्लोबल एक्सपोजर के बारे में बात करते हैं. But if you really dig into Blackie or Neo Amps का culture, FMS XLRI, you will see a lot of students spending their last semester outside of the country. तो immersion program वहाँ पे भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. It's just that उतनी बातें नहीं होती है वहाँ पे. So I want you to be really honest and tell us कि यार how this actually helped us changing mindset, personality, और ये job में कहाँ आपको काम करेगा?
So I'll start with a simple point, a contradiction actually. As you said that in other colleges it happens in the last semester. In our college it doesn't happen in the last semester, it happens in the second last semester. And probably that is one of the main things is that people don't go over there just to just to have a tour or something. They actually go over there to study.
Right.
And in our college we have a very regular system of allotting electives with a huge number of subjects, which range a lot from from finance, which other typical MBA subjects like finance, marketing, HR. And they also go beyond certain typical roles like heritage, culture, museum, even conflict of politics.
Okay.
So those kind of things were there. Second, what I believe is personally speaking, that leaving the country for some time, even for months or days, it changes you, it changes your
Absolutely.
perception.
Absolutely.
It changes how you look at yourself and how you perceive other things. Yeah, of course, it does humbles you because you have seen the world now in a nutshell. But yeah, it's a very humbling experience.
But does it change your mindset? Does it make you a
Yeah, it
different
does,
person
it does,
altogether?
it does change your
How does it
mindset.
help you?
So personally, you start looking at things very, very differently. You start looking at your life differently.
Networking भी होता होगा बाकी के बच्चों
Yeah,
के
of
साथ.
course, you get the networking opportunity. Now I would pass on to Sanandita for other insights.
I think one thing that I just want to point out here is that we don't go there to have fun. We go there to study.
सुन लो
And
ये.
fun,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
and
course.
fun is a huge part of it. Because being in that environment, being taught by teachers, professors who come from the backgrounds that Amber also mentioned, it's you want to study more. It's not something that's drudgery. It's not something you have to do anymore. You want to do it. And looking at it again from because we're talking to potential students, right? So we're looking at it again from an ROI perspective. So it is no lie that all business is moving to India.
True.
And at the end of the day, India
Right.
is your hub for any sort of commerce, right?
Absolutely.
And so you need to, and we are at an advantage, like all of us Indian citizens and Indian students are at an advantage because we understand the market fairly well of what works, because it's not like we keep hearing in our classes, it's not one India anymore, it's north and south, and the way Delhi reacts is not the way Calcutta will react, is not the way Bombay will react, right? So definitely we already understand how the Indian market works, and our run-of-the-mill MBAs will only sharpen that. But what SDA does is, the moment you go abroad, you also understand what these global companies want.
Right.
And then that is where the amalgamation happens. You know what the companies want, and you know what you can offer, and then you also know how you can place yourself at that intersection.
True.
And so that is the edge that we're talking about. Today, the fact that Amber is placed with Deloitte USI, I am placed with L'Oreal Group. These are all global names. They're not
Absolutely.
limited to India.
Absolutely.
And they have subsidiaries in India. They have offices in India. And they have a lot of business happening in India. Because we understand the global brand DNA, and we also understand how the Indian market works.
There you go, yeah.
Is why we are a better fit for this
Perfect.
intersection.
Perfect.
There's
Spot
one
on.
more point.
Yeah, go ahead, Amber.
Like you mentioned about how the traveling traveling to
Other country, yeah.
spending time as education changes you. You know what? There's a very small point that when you go to another country, you are generally stepping out from your culture to another culture, stepping out from your comfort zone. So you get to know a lot of things, a lot of good things, a lot of unique things which are in that culture and which are not in India. So it gives you a chance to learn certain things from there and then implement it here.
Absolutely. I mean,
That is one of the reasons, I have observed it.
but tell me one thing. So, Bocconi is a big brand when it comes to Europe. I know that, right? But students want to understand from students, actually. Are you also eligible to apply to companies in Europe? Can you guys do that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically there are certain job fairs in the Bocconi.
Okay.
And
अच्छा.
you are
तो
eligible.
वो exposure मिल जाता है आपको
Yeah.
वहाँ
You
पे.
get that exposure.
That's huge.
You
That's
get that
huge.
exposure.
Okay.
And plus a suggestion to all the joining students, whenever you're traveling to Europe for studies and going this, learn 2-3 European languages, and that will create an edge in your CV, along with other pointers of workers and everything. So that is we do get that.
I think I completely agree that your foreign exposure changes you as a person. It gives you a different perspective. I personally understand that very well. I was in Wall Street when I was 22. And that changed my entire life. But again, मैं कितना भी बोलूँ, जब बच्चे कहेंगे तभी आप मानोगे. Last question for the day for you. You made it to L'Oreal, but it's a different story, right? It's not a campus placement as such. It's a PPI. बहुत मेहनत किया है इन्होंने. Can you give us a little idea about it? How did you crack it?
So me along with two of my teammates, Riya Kansari and Aditya Yadav, we participated in the L'Oreal Brandstorm case competition, which is L'Oreal's flagship case competition across countries. And they do this every year. And our topic, this was last year, and our topic was men's beauty, empowering the men's beauty and skincare market. We came up with whatever product that we did. There were 65,000 plus registrations from India, and we ended up being.
Was it a global competition?
It was a global competition.
और 65,000 registration India से आए थे. Crazy.
And,
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we made it to the top 6 teams in India out of the 65,000. We presented to the L'Oreal board, the business head of India, the CPD head, the consumer product division head, and everyone. We didn't win the national finals. We were just finalists. We were not winners. But to have that exposure, to have that stage to present your ideas amongst world leaders at this point was a win in itself. Post which, when we were just about to leave for Milan, we got our PPI calls. There were 2 rounds of interview, and I cleared it, and I'm placed at L'Oreal now.
I mean, in his story, I can connect a lot of dots. So when she was pre-MBA, she always wanted to get into global brand, global B school. She's somebody who would love to travel the world. Consulting karna hai, vagara, vagara, vagara. That's what she manifested. She made it to.
More than half of my life is running on just manifestation. Please believe. Just have faith in the universe.
And then you made it to SDA. And then you got into, I said, when you L'Oreal campus pe aaya, you actually cracked
L'Oreal
it.
did come on campus.
Achha, it come on campus.
They
Okay.
came on campus for SIP, and one person from our cohort made it, and then she also converted
nice.
a PPO.
Very
But
nice.
I got through their case competition.
Case competition.
Yeah.
Okay. Would love to talk a little bit more about case competition, but we are really tight on the timings now. Last question. It's kind of a situation that I want to give it to you, okay? So be very careful when you answer this, and this is for all the students who are following you. So there are 2 buckets, okay? MBA के पहले एक bucket है जहाँ पे brand है. अभी वो brand कुछ भी होगा, Indian brand. We don't want to name it, right? Then there is second bucket, जहाँ पे you may have a brand, okay, decent brand, and then you have lot of things. जैसे hustle है, right? Lot of exposure है, foreign exposure है, great faculties है, great peer group है. Something that will change you as a person. एक raw product से final product आपको बना सकता है. What you would choose personally, and what people should be choosing at the end of the day when we talk about MBA in 2026?
So for me, I would go with the bucket B.
Good.
One which had a lot of hustle, one which had a lot of development opportunities like foreign faculty and everything.
Nice.
And I'll tell you the reason why I would do that. Is like nowadays the world is it's a very changing place.
Absolutely.
It's a very changing place.
Absolutely.
There is nothing permanent. It's all gonna be change and all that.
Absolutely.
So you should focus more on what development you are getting.
Exactly.
Plus also you should focus more on the skills. Because names will not matter much as your individual skills will do. So if you trust in yourself as a person that okay, I can do this, I have this capabilities, certain types of qualities which I have which others don't have, or which are like key differentiators for me, you should choose the bucket B.
Okay.
For me personally.
Sanandita, what's your take on this?
I think I chose bucket B. But
So bucket B is nothing but SDA Bocconi, by the way.
yeah, but definitely bucket B, because see, if you're doing your MBA well, you will not have time for 2 years. You're
Absolutely.
not supposed to have any free time.
Actually.
At Boconi, I made sure I did it. I was constantly doing case comps, I was doing live projects, I did a little internship stint with Swiggy. You have to keep yourself, it's on you. There's a lot of responsibility and ownership and autonomy that you have
Absolutely.
in an institution that doesn't necessarily function like Indian institutions do, which is like very run of the mill, very it's supposed to be done in a certain way, so you do it in a certain way. Here you're given the freedom to
That's
really
exposure,
explore. So I would always choose that.
Fantastic. Amber and Sanandita, thank you so very much for giving some time. And I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. आप लोग फोड़ने वाले हो, no doubt about that. And guys, if you have any question with respect to Milan, with respect to faculties, curriculum, yada, yada, put a comment on the video and we'll be more than happy to answer that. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.